Hello and a very warm welcome to my channel. My name is Noman, and today we're going to dive deep into one of the most challenging parts of the IELTS exam, the reading module. This section tests your ability to understand a wide range of academic texts, from journal articles to newspaper excerpts. It's not just about reading, it's about comprehension, speed, and strategy. Many students find this part particularly tricky, but with the right approach, you can significantly improve your score and feel much more confident on test day. In this video, we're going to focus specifically on a question type that causes a lot of confusion, the true, false, not given questions. These questions require a very precise level of understanding and can often feel like a puzzle. Is the statement directly supported by the text? Is it directly contradicted? Or is the information simply not there at all? Distinguishing between these three options is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned and perfected with the right guidance and practice. My goal for you today is to demystify this question type completely. I'll be sharing my top tips, tricks, and proven strategies that have helped countless students break through their barriers and achieve a Band 8 or even higher. We'll go through a step-by-step process, look at common pitfalls, and I'll give you practical advice you can start using immediately. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's get you on the path to mastering the IELTS reading test. So let's start with the absolute basics. What exactly are true, false, and not given questions? It's crucial to have a crystal clear understanding of what each option means before you even look at the passage. True means that the statement agrees with the information presented in the text. This doesn't mean it has to use the exact same words. In fact, it rarely will. It means the meaning is identical. Think of it as a direct match in terms of information. If the passage says the project was completed in 2020, a statement saying the project finished in 2020 would be true. Now, let's consider false. A statement is false if it directly contradicts the information in the text. This is a very important point. It's not enough for the statement to be different. It must be the opposite of what the passage says. The text must contain information that proves the statement is incorrect. For example, if the passage states the research was primarily conducted in urban areas, a statement like the research focused mainly on rural settings would be false. You can point to a specific part of the text that makes the statement impossible. Finally, we have the trickiest one, not given. This is the correct answer when you simply cannot find the information in the passage to either confirm or deny the statement. The passage might talk about the topic in general, but it won't provide the specific detail needed to judge the statement. For instance, if the passage discusses the benefits of a new vaccine but never mentions its cost, a statement like the new vaccine was expensive would be not given. The information isn't there. You can't prove it's true and you can't prove it's false. Remember, you must base your answer only on the text provided, not on your own knowledge. One of the biggest challenges in the IELTS reading test is time. You have 60 minutes to answer 40 questions across 3 long passages. This means you simply don't have time to read every single word in detail. This is where the essential skills of skimming and scanning come into play. Skimming is like speed reading to get the general idea or gist of the text. You should skim the entire passage once at the beginning. Read the title, the first sentence of each paragraph, and the concluding paragraph. This gives you a mental map of the text, helping you understand its overall structure and what each paragraph is about. So once you have that mental map, you can move on to scanning. Scanning is what you do when you're looking for specific information, like a name, a date, a number, or a keyword from the question. You're not reading for meaning at this stage. Your eyes are just sweeping across the text, searching for that particular piece of data. When you're tackling a true, false, not given question, you first identify the keywords in the statement, and then you scan the passage for those keywords or their synonyms. Remember that the questions usually follow the order of the information in the passage, which is a huge help. Let's put this into practice. Imagine a statement says, Dr. Evans published her findings in 1988. The key pieces of information to scan for are Dr. Evans, published, and 1988. Your eyes should fly across the page, ignoring everything else until you spot one of these words. Once you locate the relevant sentence or section, you stop scanning and switch to careful reading. You read that specific part in detail to determine if the information matches the statement, which would be true, contradicts it, which would be false, or isn't mentioned, which would be not given. This two-step process of skimming for gist and scanning for detail is fundamental to managing your time effectively. Now let's talk about the heart of the true, false, not given task: keywords and paraphrasing. Identifying the right keywords in the statement is your first critical step. These are the words that carry the main meaning. They're often nouns like government or pollution, verbs like increased or developed, adjectives like essential or difficult, or adverbs like significantly or rarely. Avoid focusing on common words like a or the. Once you've underlined these keywords in the question, your next task is to find them, or more likely their paraphrased versions, in the text. Paraphrasing is when the writer expresses the same idea using different words. IELTS is not a word-matching test, it's a meaning-matching test. The examiners are specifically testing your ability to recognize synonyms and rephrased ideas. For example, the statement might say, "It is essential to get enough sleep." In the text, this could be written as "Adequate rest is vital," or "Sufficient sleep is a necessity." Essential, vital, and necessity are all synonyms. Enough sleep, adequate rest, and sufficient sleep all convey the same meaning. Building a strong vocabulary is key here. Be especially careful with qualifying words. These are words that modify or limit the meaning of a statement, such as all, some, many, always, often, occasionally, or never. These small words can completely change the meaning and are often the deciding factor between true and false. If the statement says all birds can fly, but the text says most birds can fly, the statement is false. The word all is contradicted by most. Always pay close attention to these qualifiers. They are common traps designed to catch you out if you're not reading carefully. Let's discuss some of the most common traps that students fall into with true, false, not given questions. The biggest and most frequent mistake is confusing false with not given. Many students will choose false simply because they can't find the information to prove the statement is true. But remember the rule: for a statement to be false, there must be information in the text that directly contradicts it. If there's no information either way, the answer must be not given. Always ask yourself, can I find a sentence in the text that proves this statement is wrong? If the answer is no, it's likely not given. Another common trap is making assumptions based on your own general knowledge. This is a very easy mistake to make, especially if the topic is familiar to you. For example, a statement might say, "The sun is hot." We all know this is true in real life, but if the passage is about planetary orbits and never mentions the sun's temperature, the answer for the test must be not given. You must be a machine and base your answer only on the information within the four corners of the text in front of you. Forget everything you know about the outside world for these 60 minutes. A third trap involves misinterpreting the author's opinion versus a stated fact. The text might present someone's theory or opinion. For example, Dr. Smith believes that climate change is irreversible. A statement that says climate change is irreversible would be not given or potentially false if another fact in the text contradicts it. The statement presents the idea as a fact, whereas the text presents it as one person's belief. You need to be precise about what the text actually says, not what it implies. Always look for hedging language like suggests, believes, claims, or argues. Excellent time management is non-negotiable if you want to achieve a Band 8 or higher. For the true, false, not given questions, I recommend a strict strategy. As a general rule, you should aim to spend about 1.5 minutes per question. This includes reading the statement, identifying keywords, scanning the passage, locating the relevant information, and making your final decision. Don't get stuck on one difficult question. If you've spent 2 minutes on a question and you're still unsure, make an educated guess. Mark the question to review later if you have time, and move on. It's better to answer all questions than to get one perfect and run out of time for 5 others. Consistent practice is the only way to build the speed, accuracy, and confidence you need. Don't just do practice tests blindly. After you complete a set of true, false, not given questions, you must analyze your mistakes. For every question you got wrong, ask yourself why. Did you misunderstand the question? Did you fail to find the right part of the text? Did you misinterpret a paraphrase, or did you fall into one of the common traps we discussed, like confusing false and not given? Keeping a mistake journal where you write down the question, your wrong answer, the right answer, and the reason for your error is an incredibly effective learning tool. Finally, to really push for that Band 8, you need to work with authentic, high-quality practice materials. Use official Cambridge IELTS books as your primary resource, as they contain real past papers. As you practice, simulate test conditions. Set a timer and work without distractions. The more you familiarize yourself with the pressure of the clock, the calmer and more focused you will be on the actual test day. Remember, the goal of practice is not just to get the right answers, but to refine your strategy and make it second nature. With dedication and smart practice, you absolutely can master this question type. And there you have it. My comprehensive guide to tackling true, false, and not given questions for a Band 8 and beyond. We've covered everything from the fundamental definitions to advanced strategies for time management and avoiding common traps. Remember, the key is to be systematic. Understand the question, scan for keywords, read the relevant section carefully, and make a precise judgment based only on the text. It's a skill that requires patience and a methodical approach, but it is 100% achievable for a dedicated student like you. The most important advice I can leave you with is to practice, practice, practice. The more passages you work through, the more you'll start to see the patterns and the better you'll become at recognizing, paraphrasing, and identifying the subtle differences between false and not given. And on test day, remember to take a deep breath and stay calm. You've prepared for this. Trust in your strategy and the hard work you've put in. Panicking will only make it harder to focus, so maintain your composure and tackle one question at a time. Thank you so much for watching today. I truly hope you found these tips helpful on your journey to IELTS success. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more detailed guides on all aspects of the IELTS exam. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss my next video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Keep working hard and I'll see you in the next one.